for joining us on this beautiful winter day. It's not winter yet. We're still in fall.
Yeah.
But it's snow. It's not too bad over here. But
When does winter start?
December 21st, December 20th.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the program. And now that Michelle has gone in and told you that maybe what you've been reading for all these years may or may not be true, thank you very much, Michelle.
What are you referring to in the readings?
Her reading in terms of the account of the Hebrew people and their exodus from Egypt. And it's always been that there had, not always, but here lately the scholarship has been that maybe the account is probably not an accurate account. And that's why I tell people it's metaphor. It is, if you're looking at it, there's many of us who, for example, do not believe, I don't anyway, I believe in the Garden of Eden and that it was Adam and Eve. Science is saying that probably didn't happen. So, but that doesn't make God any.
So then what do you propose that the first man came from?
First man? I think evolved from the sea, from the ocean.
So we come here from water in your estimation.
All what living kind of species come from the water.
Go back to dirt.
We go back to dirt. Well, I don't know so much go back to dirt. We become dirt. Yeah, basically. And it's fascinating because I was thinking about existence.
So you're saying we come from water?
Yes. Yeah.
What do you base that on, Keith?
Just biological studies, evolutionary science. That's how people evolved. I was thinking about the Scopes trial. Everybody remember? I don't know.
So shouldn't we all be able to swim?
Actually, don't you have gills? Something similar to gills in the womb, right?
Actually, you actually start off knowing most likely how to swim.
Right.
Because you have spent all that time in embryonic fluid.
Mm-hmm.
And so most newborns, if you were to put them in water, they could do a little something.
That's why it's the best time to teach them how to swim when they're little, because they're not scared of the water.
Right.
Caitlin developed a phobia. I don't know what happened to us. You couldn't take her around. We were in Miami. She wouldn't go near the ocean. We were in Chicago, and was that Northbrook, the mall?
Yeah.
And they have a fountain.
Right.
Oh, she lost her mind. Then Rhonda took her to swimming lessons. And the first time she didn't know where she was going. The second time Rhonda took, she said she freaked out like, whoa. So yeah, you get them early. You get them early and you get them in the water. But no, that's how, and I'm comfortable with that. In my mind, it doesn't make God any less God. Now, look, a lot of people probably never went in that deep. You accept it, but just all your anecdotal evidence kind of points to it. But as my good friend Keon was here. Oh, there you go. Believing in science. That's all right. That's all right. Go on with your God. Science is your God. Go. Science is your God. I'm like, Negro, you have been in church since Tupac was alive. You gonna sit up and argue with me about church?
There would be an argument.
Right, it would be an argument. I mean, I was telling Michelle, we were having this kind of man. And I was saying the time that we had one of these arguments, and Keon was getting ready to jump on me. I had to tell Michelle. He came around the counter. I said, I know I ain't fighting this dude over white Jesus. I know we fighting over white Jesus. Oh my God. He came around the corner. I said, Michelle, this dude gonna jump on me. He was that upset.
You're gonna believe what I said.
Yeah. He came around. Debo, he came around. And now I'm getting all scared. And he kind of, circling around. I'm going
like how Michelle did that day when she
What?
No, we don't talk about that.
Oh,
somebody just text me. Oh, you get pinged too.
Yeah, no. What's going on?
Oh no, they sent me something on Jew. Okay.
Carvey.
We got a caller?
Your mic.
Caller, welcome to the program.
This dude.
Take the base off those chips. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Oh, Solis, how are you, dear?
I'm doing well. I believe I'm kind of like you on that theory of the water, because we 70% of our body is water.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I was thinking about Keon this morning and Boston baked beans. Remember that, Michelle?
Yeah, we haven't seen Boston baked beans in a minute.
I just
Yeah.
had some.
Did you? And Michelle never shares them.
I had
She-
3 boxes.
She never shares them.
And then that coffee you used to have trouble with at McDonald's, trying to get your coffee in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
No, what
And I mailed you some coupons for Wendy's when they started doing breakfast.
Yes, I remember.
and I don't know why. I guess it gave her something to talk about on the program
What?
because she go to
No,
McDonald's.
it was every morning.
I
It
know.
was like
It gave her something to
going
talk
like
about.
this.
Coming in, how badly she was treated at McDonald's.
It wasn't about I needed something to talk about. It was my experience. They was janky.
Yeah, and
Just
it
in
was
case it was a
horrible.
slow
The way that
day.
service
Did you go to
was on
McDonald's
27th.
today? Damn, I'm glad you brought that up. You know what they did? I was like, what? What they did,
Hey,
Michelle?
That one on 27th and Capitol. That's the worst one.
Thank you. Tell the truth to shame the devil.
Actually,
Yeah.
no. You know what? I was just there a couple of times, and the service has actually been very good.
Oh, it's gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, it's
certainly
actually
has
very,
gotten better.
but they got new ownership now too, right?
Well, yeah, he hurried up and called in to let me know they was under new ownership. Robert Piles.
So he got it now
I think that's who got it.
because there was some Latinos in there when we were going, when we
Yeah.
frequent.
But
Okay.
I mean, their service had been janky for a long time.
Oh man, no, the service is a lot better.
but it's a lot better.
Because I had to do something last week when I had to run down for my mom and then get back up and got here. Man, they got me in and got me out. So.
And that's the one thing I've been impressed because those lines move now.
Yeah,
And
they're
I'm like,
moving.
thank you, Jesus.
Yep.
And in fact, all of them on Capitol now seem a lot better.
Yeah.
But 76 was always my go-to because they moved you quick.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning. I heard it's a real Vaseline day for real today.
It's bruh.
Yeah, it's an ashy day today.
I'm surprised you wore them shoes out, Keith.
No,
Man,
they're supposed to be. They've been coated, polished. Yeah.
Okay, those are slick
I
too.
did they put the salt down or what?
No,
No,
because
I ain't seen a city trip.
no, they're not going to because it's going to rain.
Oh, and rain?
Yeah, we get rain this afternoon. So,
But I called to say to Michelle there and Debo. Hey Debo.
yeah, I heard you at JT yesterday.
Yeah, sitting right where you sitting. Debo is not. He's standing out in the reception area, looking in here real crazy at the phone, but he hears you.
Yeah, my wife was sharing with me Jermaine's macaroni and cheese recipe.
That JT said it sounded like soap.
when I tell you to ride outside, not ride out, sound just like
Man, your phone is breaking up, bro.
But you
So I
can
hear
can season pasta.
Yeah, we know that.
You know, you can do a little egg on there and
We do.
well, yeah, you put some in the water.
Yeah, you put some in water for sure. Is he? You still
Yeah,
there?
a lot of people do. You can season it with. No, he's gone.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people season
Nah.
it with Parmesan, but
No, we was just killing him because when I was asking him about his roux, he was like, the what?
now you know if he's real cook. Did he say, "I take my cheese"? That's what you know. The cook, I take my cheese.
Yeah, my block of cheese.
Yeah, my grandmother, you say, "Now see what I do? I take my cheese." Then I take my spaghetti.
He was so through. When he called me when we left the station yesterday. And I don't know if he was at the gas station, but he ran into some bros. Bros was dying in the background, laughing, talking about that mac and cheese, man.
Who was the woman? She's biracial, and her mother, when she fried chicken, would season the grease. Was it Ari Parker? Is she? Whoever it was, but she's biracial, and her mama, and we was kind of going like the grease gets seasoned just from cooking,
right?
You know, just from the,
but it's almost like the reverse. Like you thought seasoned grease would make the food be seasoned. Like,
that's how she fried chicken.
Seasoned the grease,
right? So she must not have been Southern, and she certainly
must not
wanted
black.
Right, must not have been black. Now, if we sit up here, we be talking.
You could be white and Southern and know how to burn.
Oh, no, the burn. I'm talking about do some of the
butt
best
off.
soul food I had.
Yeah,
White folks did so because it's po folks food.
I mean,
it is when we call soul
but
food.
we just like our food a certain way.
Well,
too.
but we all ate the same thing after slavery. The poor whites ate the same thing as poor blacks.
Yeah, but that don't mean they had to cook it the same way.
Yeah. You know, Granny talked about her chitlins.
I'm just saying, everybody.
Hog
I mean,
mugs.
Hog mugs.
we-
And speaking of, Shirley Caesar is doing a Red Lobster commercial.
Really?
That's her voice.
I think I saw that
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. She's
think
doing
so.
yeah, she's doing a Red Lobster commercial
I think
as
I
they
saw
go
that.
out of business.
Shirley Caesar is amazing. And we were at Congressional Black Caucus. Me and Lakeisha went to sit down in the hotel lobby, in a hotel restaurant or lounge area. And we saw this commotion at the table right next to us. And we looked over and it was Shirley Caesar. And so, Keisha, church lady. We had to say something to her. We didn't get out our seats or anything, but we just like kind of leaned over and said something. She was so incredibly gracious and so nice.
Really?
And she got done dining before us. And when she got up to leave, she actually leaned over to say, something. But she was so gracious, so gracious. But yeah, we saw her.
As a matter of fact, when we were doing a giveaway, we used that song.
Yeah.
When she talked about everything.
You name it.
You name it.
Bean, green, tomatoes, beans, collard greens. You name it.
And that's what that Red Lobster commercials kind of sounds
Yeah,
a
that's
little bit.
what. I heard it.
Okay, I just received a text.
Let me see, Keith. Let me see if I can play it. Okay, there we go.
Waiters, potatoes, sausages, the bosses, cheddar fish, stuffing, no bluffing.
Yeah, that gotta
We got tail, shrimp, waiters, potatoes, sausages, the bosses, cheddar fish, stuffing. Tail, shrimp, waiters, potatoes, tail,
It's the breakfast version?
Oh, that's the Red Lobster.
Oh.
Tail, shrimp, tail.
3 lobster and shrimp entrees. Red Lobster's new lobster and shrimp
But I tell you what that
celebration.
is. That's diversity. That's DEI in marketing.
Yeah, and there's also black people make up an enormous part of their market share.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so there will be companies that got folks at the table specifically to help them understand.
And some of these believers in the Old Testament, we follow the Old Testament. Not if you over there eating lobster at Red Lobster, you don't. Not if you over there eating scrimps. Okay. Not when you go to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger. Sorry.
I can't get a cheeseburger
No,
the Old Testament?
You can't mix dairy and beef.
You can't mix dairy and beef.
Right. If you go to a kosher restaurant, you cannot get a cheeseburger. I was watching a movie, and these people were so orthodox that his wife used a dish that had something else in it. It didn't even have anything in it. And he threw the whole meal out. Said, because you contaminated the meal. Someone just asked me, why do you preach the word if you don't believe it? Well, first of all, I don't preach that as the word. When I preach the Old Testament, it's metaphor, the messages that I get from it. I am a Christian, and our primary source of scripture is the New Testament. So, no, I don't. I know people do that. They like, and there's a lot of great preaching
And is there
material.
a major difference between the Old Testament
Oh,
and the
yeah.
New Testament?
Yes, Jesus. Big
Tell
difference.
people what you mean by that.
What I mean by that is that the Old Testament was that prior to Jesus, right? And then the New Testament is post-Jesus, is being very simplistic. And then when you look at the New Testament is as much Paul being the apologist for the Jesus movement as it is Jesus. So we do that, but because we were brought up, and I think the other thing is with enslavement, there was a certain attraction that we had to the Egyptian captivity. And we were here 400 years. Well, they were there 400 years. But I was telling Michelle and Debo off air, that is probably not a real good comparison to our thing. I think our thing in terms of our enslavement, I think we would have to look at the Babylonian captivity, where people were actually taken away from their homes, right? The land was conquered. That would be as close of an analogy as you would get. But there are people who are literal, very literal. When I was at American Baptist, we still had Southern Baptist instructors, and they weren't necessarily the most progressive. Right. And it's interesting because Michael Eric Dyson, went to a Southern Baptist school. Carson Newman is a Southern Baptist college, which was very interesting. And I wanted to ask him about that when I was interviewing him. How did he make that? But I think it's where you are. But if you go in, and this is the thing, and I know people push back on people who go to seminary and other things. If you go to a divinity school, you go to a seminary, you're going to find out that the Bible is not, and I say this very gently, it's just another book. It's another book of truth, right? You're studying all kind of things because part of it is preparing you, and you should. I was speaking to a pastor and I said, there should always be skepticism, right? The absolute belief is dangerous.
But that's what most people were taught was absolute belief. What did I say when I was young? And I would ask Reverend Smith down in Raleigh, Alabama, a subsidiary of Birmingham, like, excuse me, but why is this? Or that doesn't make sense to me. Or explain this, that you just taught in Sunday school today. And the without fail, the answer would be you don't question God because you're not here to question God. This is the word. You need to take it at its value and obey. And I'm just like, well, then why give me a brain if I'm not supposed to use it and think? Or it's just the only area that you don't want me to use my brain, the brain that you gave me.
Religion is based on belief. Religion is not based on fact.
Right.
It's your belief system. Do you believe in a higher being?
I think that some of the belief, though, is embedded in that belief are at times what people believe are things that tangibly have happened that they can attribute to that faith and that belief. So, I was telling somebody real quickly, I said, my check engine light came on that Thursday before Lakeisha got the call for her kidney. I was here at the station, walked out, my car didn't start. And I was like, heck's going on? So I called AAA. As soon as he touches the post with the battery charger, it starts right up. I leave and go on my way. But my check engine light was on. So when it stopped one more time and I get it charged. We go, I go on. So then the call comes on Saturday for Keisha's kidney. So I make the decision to go ahead and take my car. Keisha, her car's been totaled. She has a little rental car. I got to return that. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take my car. Because I checked, they said, even though check engine light is on, you should be fine. So I take my car. I go all the way to Rochester, Minnesota. So I stop, I get gas. We cut the car off, cut the car on. I get her to the hospital. I park the car, cut the car off, cut the car back on, go to the hotel. Car off. No, go get me some food first. Go into the restaurant, car off, car on. Go to the hotel, car off, car on. Get up that morning, go get breakfast, car off, car on. This car is starting every time. I go get me some clothes to wear because I left with no clothes. Car off, car on. Hospital, see about her. I get on the road. I get gas. I get me something to eat. I drive back to Wisconsin. When I get back to Wisconsin, I go to the gas station and I cut the car off to go in to buy me some potato chips. This is the next day after I made it back home. The car doesn't start. I have to call and get a jump. So I was telling Keisha's mom and I was telling my son, I said, now I play around a lot. I don't always seem like the most religious person in the world. But when I feel like none but God that allowed me to get that girl there, and that car didn't act up not one time and do everything that I needed to do to get back home safely. And then when I'm back in my town, in my city, 5 minutes from my house, if I had to walk back home, I could have walked back home. That car cut off. When I tell you like that, because it had cut off before, it had cut off after. I was allowed and we were allowed to move safely back and forth. And that car never cut off. So that's why I said there are things that people will see that they feel are tangible. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Did you go to church?
I ain't had time to go to church yet. I was driving back on Sunday. I was with her at the hospital. I ain't had time to go to church. And it don't mean I'm going to church. It's just mean
don't be taking the blessings and then don't show up for church.
No, I mean, look, I passed.
And I said this, I don't know if I said it on the air yesterday. Just because you can scientifically explain a miracle doesn't make it less a miracle. Right. And it's hard. I mean, I think that's how we try to rationalize things that we don't understand. I think that my voice gets so high.
No. Debo didn't put no bass.
He didn't put no bass in it. But when because I mean, and it seems that because it is and I don't want to say this, and I know because people put such a negative connotation on the word, but it is a superstition because how do I show you God?
Right.
Tangibly.
Right.
We say, but that must be God. I've asked a question and I still haven't gotten an answer yet. When has God intervened in human events that you could go, that was clearly God?
Two things. Somebody just texted me. They said a black man is the president and CEO of Red Lobster.
Oh, that's why we.
I just thought, because then I remember because they were talking about.
That's right.
If they were going to be like.
What it looks like.
Yeah, the future of Red Lobster.
Because did they file for bankruptcy?
They had at one point. Yeah.
Right.
They said that the all-you-can-eat shrimp was what basically took them under.
I bet. You used to be able to get all-you-could-eat fried chicken out at the Chancery. Not anymore.
When did they ever do that?
Yeah, it used to be. It was on Sundays. It was all-you-could-eat fried
Must
chicken.
Have been a best-kept secret.
No, it wasn't the best-kept secret because they ain't doing it no more.
I know if my former mother-in-law, God rest her soul, was alive, they would have been without a business. She used to have a purse that she would line with aluminum foil.
That special purse.
She would line it with aluminum foil, and then she'd tell me, "Go get some chicken," and I'd bring back a plate of chicken, thinking we about to sit and break bread and all get a piece off. She'll move that plate closer.
Scrape it off.
And chicken be falling into her purse. And then she'll
the only purpose for that plate.
She put the plate back up there. She'll be like, in a few minutes, go get some chicken. I was like, are you kidding me right now? But that chicken would be in her purse.
And
then we would eat it on the way back home. Because this is when I used to take her over to Trump Tower to the casino in Chicago. And so on the ride back home, she'd be like, I bet you want some chicken, don't you?
Like y'all traveling down south, all you needed was a shoebox.
Exactly.
You know what's interesting when and Rhonda can tell you this. When I first started, we go to movies. And I would ask her, do you have a big purse?
Because you got to bring your snacks.
No, it wasn't snacks.
What?
I go to Burger King.
Oh, you was bringing food.
We bringing food. There wasn't no snacks.
You sit there eating a burger?
It'd be knocked out. It'd be snoring up in that bed. Boy, I felt so bad for her. Her purse smelled like onions.
Nah, you wouldn't put that in.
And then, wait a minute. And then Suburbia, that was another one by that I sneak in.
Suburbia had the best subs ever.
Oh, you like Suburbia?
I love whatever that seasoning, that oil stuff.
Sesame oil.
Oh my God, it is literally the best subs I've ever had.
Yeah, I would.
There used to be one right here on Capitol.
Yep, they're out on Blue Mound.
I didn't even know they still had Suburbia.
Oh yeah, and then they're out by the airport.
There is one out by the airport.
Yep,
that's right.
In the gas station.
Yep, that's right.
Oh,
that's right there off.
Because you don't eat no gas station food.
I don't, but I do remember seeing that.
Gas station food.
Oh yeah, we had a.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Yeah. Since you ain't going to church, we're gonna bring it to you, Michelle. Took me all the way to Minnesota.
Well, let it stop by your house while you
car didn't cut off not one time.
You trying to look out for my soul.
Made it back to my driveway.
Let it stop by your house.
Said I made it back to my driveway.
Refluffing your pillow. Talking about you watched it on TV.
Y'all don't hear me.
Armchair institutional. Full gospel.
Get me some tater chips. Y'all don't hear me.
We heard some incredible stuff when we was doing telephone church.
I believe it was late.
You got up into people's. I remember when I first
trying to tell the pastors, y'all better learn how to use that mute button.
Oh, it wasn't the pastors.
No, I'm saying that because a lot of the pastors would let them leave the line open.
Right, because
and it's like so you can hear that call and response. Like, boy, you hear them pots clanging and folks cussing in the background.
The one we had was, bring me back a pack of Newports.
Yeah.
For the whole church.
You going like, oh man. But when we first started doing Zoom calls, right? We're working from home. And you be looking like, damn, Debo got a nice crib.
See, that's the part right there.
Right, you got
People
we
ain't
done
looking at you. They
isolated.
trying to see your
No,
background.
This is true. Yeah. All them Zoom calls we would be on. The first thing I do is just look at people's house.
Right.
I'll be like, oh.
Look at them raggedy. Look at them raggedy blinds.
I'm like, I was all up in people's house.
Oh,
like,
we have about a 4-foot Zoom studio
oh, yeah.
that we shoot from.
And you're home.
I mean,
yeah.
when people learn how to blur the background fine.
Oh, you can put your own background in.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
what dude?
yeah.
Fred Nelson. We're in a call and look like Fred. Damn, you in Florida?
I had one with this room, and the way it's set up, it really looks like it's really your room.
Your room, right?
And unless you move, because when you move, then you get that little blurry, and some people realize it's a fake background. But I think Martha Love was on the call with me. She said, "Now, when'd you do that?"
Yeah, because you can't see the rest of the house.
Yeah.
There's a video when cell phones first had videos on it, and Caitlin had a cell phone, and so Caitlin is outside and she's filming the outside of the house, and she goes, "Oh, this is really nice." She said, "But when you get in the house."
My sister.
We live in our house, and I love people. When you go by their crib, it looks like a palatial. Yeah, we live in ours.
Tell my learning cameras. My sister, I call her on FaceTime, right? She coming out the shower. She done,
Wait.
Hey, brother. I said, hey, sister.
Sister.
I said, I can see you. You can see me. Yeah, I can see you.
No.
She learned that day. As Homer would say, you going to learn today. Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. FaceTime was messed up.
Oh my God, that would just be some of the. Where are you? I'm at the house. Oh my God, Carla, welcome to the program.
Yeah, it's me again. Michelle, you drive safe because it's really bad out here.
I'm looking at it. I got you.
Michelle got a Jeep.
'Cause up and down State Street is a trip. They flying through here like they crazy.
Yeah, she got
Yes, ma'am.
She
Thank
got
you.
a Jeep.
Appreciate
man.
it.
It's designed for this weather.
Oh no.
Thank you,
I
Solis.
saw JT yesterday on the on my government phone. I was able to.
Oh, you was
look
able to
the
see
Blues
him?
Brothers. Yeah, I was able to see y'all
Do
yesterday.
he look like he sound to you?
Not really,
No,
but
he
he
don't.
looked like he was one of the Blues Brothers.
Because he had the hat on.
Yeah, and them shades.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss
Yeah, I was
Robinson.
looking for John Belushi.
Miss Robinson.
But when I first met Keith, when I first met you, I heard your voice. I was outside doing them signs for Lena Taylor at Callbacks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and but I heard your voice, and you were so tall. I'm like, man, this guy is tall.
Yeah,
But
she
I
sure
wouldn't
was
come in,
outside
remember?
the skybox. That's right.
Yeah.
That's them platform shoes he wears.
Yeah.
Boy
1974.
James Brown boots.
told me that was my first day of work when I was out there doing them signs.
She sure was. I sure did.
Thank you, Celise. Yeah, that's
Yep.
crazy. You your high heel boots on. The James Brown twisters.
Get on up. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Hey, what's
Good morning,
happening, man?
George?
Since I know you ain't going to read it, I sent you. Jesus declared, since you say you from the New Testament,
Mm-hmm.
you know Jesus declared all clean.
George, you kind of fading in and out. Do you have us on speaker?
I'm sorry. Jesus declared all food clean. There is no unclean food.
Oh, I agree. I
Okay.
jumped. Jesus died so we could eat pork. I agree.
So, but that's not what you said. You always refer.
No. I said people. No, not me, George. I said people who will say that they're so literal. They take the Old Testament literal, and they follow what's in the Old Testament. And I'm going like, well, look at those 613 laws, and see how many of them that you're violating.
We violate them all every. We
Right,
violate them
but
all
we're
every
not.
day
But we're not held accountable to that, right?
because of Jesus.
Right. We don't. So the dietary, and a lot of that became, I don't know, Jesus movement, but certainly as Gentiles became more and more part of the Christian movement, that, that was the whole argument that Paul was having with the folks in Jerusalem about this idea that people need to be literally circumcised as males and to follow the dietary thing. And Paul said, no, it's the circumcision of your heart, right?
Correct.
So, no, I mean, I think it is obvious people violated. People violated during the time when Jesus cast out the the man who had the legion of demons, where were they? They were in the area where they were raising hogs, right? Well, that was considered not kosher, but I'm sure there was Jewish people there buying pork.
Okay, well, I'm glad we on the same page. I'm like, why is Keith saying that you can't eat this and you can't eat
No,
that?
I didn't say you can't. I said that there are people who will do that, and that's the problem with us.
Heard that,
yeah, being so literal about it, and that's why I think now here's again, and this is where I'm gonna be controversial because I'm a Baptist. That's why if you're gonna do Bible study, not verse memorization. Bible study. You have to go in and
so let me ask you a question.
Be critical and get as much facts as you can around what you're reading, be able to put it in proper context to why it was written.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna get off because I watch a lot of people and I listen to a lot of people. Do you think there's a difference between preaching and teaching?
No.
You don't?
Mm-mm. I think preaching...
Because I'm going to tell you something in which confused me, and I asked other people because I was like, okay, am I being judgmental now? So I was down south not too long ago. This dude was doing all the hooping and stuff, but he had no message. And people was clapping and cheering, and I'm like, okay, what's the message? What's the teaching? So that's why I said, do you think there's a difference between preaching and teaching?
I think that as
like he just wanted a quickie.
Actually, that's a pretty good homiletically. That was actually pretty good, George. I got to give him credit. He did have some substantive issues. But putting together a sermon, he did it the way you're supposed to put together a sermon. It's the substance in your sermon, not so much the style. And when you talk about preacher, I never forget Bishop Sappho.
All right, I'm gonna listen off here.
Okay, we're family, and so we were over at the house, and we just talked about preaching, and so he asked my mother. He said, "So, what? I hear him talking. What kind of preacher is he?" My mother goes, "Well, he's a lecturer." Now, those of us in this business understand that when people say that you're a lecturer, we're not going to be able to do the call and response, the tune, the hoop, the squall. Those are styles, and for a lot of people, that's all they had. I mean, and again, no disrespect, but the level of education that they had was basically the Bible. And so, people put a lot of, and then people like that style. Now, it's dying as a style. Younger people are not so much down with the hoop. But, your ability, I say this, and I want you all, don't take it wrong. There is the substance of what you do, but hopefully you have a style that will be able to get across what it is that you're trying to get across.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Keith, it's just like anything else, though. Even as a disc jockey, you read the room.
You should.
Yeah, you read the room. Even in preaching, you got to read the room.
Yeah.
You can tell if folks are following where you're trying to go, or if maybe you need to take a detour.
Well, I think the other piece of it is you're doing adult education. And so when you're doing adult education, a couple of things you need to remember. One, adults have to unlearn to learn.
And I always note preachers over, y'all ain't saying nothing.
You ain't gave us
y'all
nothing to say.
Come on,
nothing.
Get with me.
Ain't got nothing to say.
Y'all don't hear me.
Yeah, well, you know this.
You pumping and probbing now. You're trying
right.
to.
Well, you know this as in a band. If they ain't getting with you, it might not be them.
Yeah,
it could be the band.
It could be what you're giving them.
Right, what you give them. So to be able to engage people in such a way, I was at a seminar, and they were basically doing preachers, and they were doing a postmortem of COVID and how they were able to get through, and some of the preachers said it was tough doing church where it's empty because you don't get a response. And our style has been on call and response. And I know how difficult it was when I'd have to do a message over the phone because, I'm listening to, I want a response. So it shows something for many of us as declarers that, just that style and how important that was to be able to get that feedback. And I think among white folks, the recognition is different, but there's still recognition. And whether people say anything or not, you can look and see how people are. Then my mother said something to me that I just took with me. She said, sometimes people are quiet because they're thinking about what you're saying. And that's really your bottom line. You want them to challenge.
They think about what they're going to eat for dinner.
That too, but that's on you. That's on you. When they go on to Facebook, when you up preaching, that's on you.
Yeah.
Because I think it has to be compelling enough, either the message or something where, man, why am I on Facebook? You know, I mean, but man, that's the whole thing. Anyway, I won't get into that story. Caller, you've been so patient. Welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning. No,
we push the button.
Yeah, that helps.
Hello?
Good morning. How are you?
I almost lost you. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Listen, I got a couple things to ask you, being that you're a preacher.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not opposed to none of that. But look, if you think that you believe in the Antichrist and the rapture.
Do I believe in it?
Yeah, that it's going to come soon, and the rapture is going to come, and we're going to get this Antichrist. It's going to come and fool us and set us up, and then pretty soon the tribulation going to come, and we're going to have a hard time. You believe that?
It's not a theology that I necessarily embrace. I think that people got that, but I think that was Paul talking about at that point when he was talking about the rapture. People didn't know what was going to happen, you know, in terms of the return of Jesus, right? And ancient prophecy always talked about the return of the Messiah. The Messiah would come. But no, it's not anything that I would subscribe to in terms of theology. Back in the day, we used to sing this song, Someday. It was such a beautiful song. It was someday we'll be called up to meet him. It's just a beautiful song. But they were talking about the rapture. Now, there are people who really believe that. And I think if you want to believe that, but I'm from the school, there's an ancient Hebrew, they call them Mishnahs, right? A teaching that says that if one is looking for the Messiah, let the Messiah find you with your hands firmly on the plow, furling the ground, plowing, right? So in other words, keep on doing what you're doing. That's going to take care of itself.
Right.
But I understand, I mean, because it's been taught people, and then you look at why that might be attractive to certain people. If you're feeling like it's so tough down here, we need, so I don't know. I mean, and then I would even ask the question for my Jewish friends, if now that Israel has been restored, are they still looking for the Messiah?
Yeah.
Because the Messiah had in the Bible, the Messiah was coming to free the oppressed Hebrew people.
Right.
Now, people say, well, Jesus came. But even then, when you look at, that's why when Nicodemus went to Jesus, Nicodemus didn't go to ask Jesus, what must I do to be saved? That is not in there. Nicodemus went at night because they had a political situation that they had to deal with. And Nicodemus asked the question, are you the one that the scriptures talked about? Because Jesus, his following was growing. He become a threat to the Sanhedrin. He become a threat to Rome. And Jesus wasn't even one of those folks like people believe Judas was, a Maccabean, these folks who were talking about revolution, right? Jesus was talking about how we should conduct ourselves and how religion should respond to the people, and the institutions had been abusing people. So Jesus talked about that. Then we get to Jesus being the savior of the world.
Listen. No, you got to go to a commercial, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, see, every time I get on the phone,
well, why don't you do? Can I pick her up? Yeah. Why don't you hold on and I'll grab you right after the break? Okay. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Right around the corner.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. and holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together.
With all this crazy stuff, and I said he's setting it up for Antichrist for us. That's why I asked. I don't want to believe in none of it because it's scary.
Yeah, now let me say this, and I'm old enough to remember this. When Ronald Reagan was president, people thought he was the Antichrist, right? And then Ronald Ronald 6 Wilson Wilson 6 Reagan Reagen. So they had 666. I don't, in terms of the what the Antichrist is. Again, that there are people who believe that if that's what you're looking for, I take this. I believe that a lot of these are affairs of human beings, and we look to try to explain this. But like I said yesterday, evil wins just like good wins, right? I mean,
that's true.
And so we kind of, you can't have it both ways, where we only want to accept the good and not understand that the opposite of good might be evil. and that evil can flourish just like good can flourish, because people choose to be evil, people choose to be good.
Yes, true. But now, on another note, now I'm gonna let you go. When Michelle was talking about the good things that happened to her coming to the hospital and taking her friend and all that, some similar things happened to me. I had my grandchildren with me one day. We went out for a Sunday evening outing, and I took her to Robbie. You remember Robbie's on Appleton, and that's where we went. And it was about 6 of them. And we ordered our stuff, and you have to pay for it and get your ticket. And so when I got to the window, the kids ordered all their stuff, and I went to pay for it. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's been paid for already." Now, how is that? And it was $30-something. And my girlfriend's sister, who's a little slow, she said, "A lady in a yellow jumpsuit paid for it." I said, "What?" I ain't seen nobody with no yellow nothing on. And then I went to Cubs one night, and it was almost closing, and my grandbaby was sick. I said, "Let me run up here and grab him some cough syrup before they closed." That's when the pharmacy was in the back. I went back there. We ran. My little granddaughter was with me. I said, "Let's hurry, baby." And we went back there, and we grabbed the cough syrup. We got up to the counter, and there wasn't nobody in the store because they were closing. And so she says, "Oh, honey, it's been paid for." I said, "What?" She said, "A heavy-set dog lady paid for it." It was about 3 cars on a lot. I said, "Oh, let's run out there and thank her." I ain't seen nobody. Now, I don't know what that was. I can't say it, but that did truly, honestly happen to me. So what was that?
Oh,
I don't know either.
It's a blessing. That's how you look at it.
It was a blessing. It was.
Right.
It
a
was.
Good fortune. It depends. I think about all the times, though, I didn't have the money to go. My godson was talking yesterday. He really likes the truck, and he said, "Well, when you want to get rid of the truck, you can give it to me." And I go, "Well, yeah, man, but there's a car payment that goes along with it and everything else." He said, "Well, if it's in God's plan." I said, "Man, what you talking about if it's in God's plan? You need to have your plan, i.e. how you going to pay for it, okay? And then when you get to the point you did everything you did or you could do, that's when we start talking about God's plan. Okay, I know how you get to God's plan. You ain't even did your minimum stuff. So do your minimum, and then if you do that, make your best effort. Then there was something we used to hear at American Baptist called Newton Laws of the Gaps. Man goes, but there's these gaps, and wherever there's the gap, God will fill in the gap. But we got to do something. Just putting this all on God, no, man. Yeah. No, you keep on waiting. Go on and say it's God's plan, and you never went to apply for a loan, or you're not in a position to get a loan, you ain't getting that car.
You ain't getting that. You sure ain't. My daughter had bone cancer at 16. They had me over there and Racine, this miracle preacher. That man throwed all that oil on me. My daughter still died. I never did get that oil out of my clothes.
She said, "I never did get that oil out of my clothes."
I had to throw that stuff away.
Appreciate you, sister. All right, dear. Appreciate you.
All right, baby. Bye-bye.
All you did was mess up a good suit.
Mess up my good outfit.
That's all you did.
That throw all that oil all over my good clothes.
Then there was a young lady. She's up in Madison now. Her grandmother. She said every morning before I went to school, she said my grandmother would just bathe me in oil. She said she had all kind of oil on her every morning before she went to school. All right. Do we have a winner that you talked to?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. Hey, we have a winner on the line. Is this is it Marcel, right?
That's right. That's me.
What's happening, man?
Out here working.
Okay, good answer. Good answer.
Where you working at, man?
I drive 18-wheeler.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Right. Got your eyes on the road?
I pulled over to make this call.
Oh, okay. Good move.
And when it's windy like this is tough for 18-wheelers, right? With the wind.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, trying to keep it on the road. All right, man. Well, hey, you wanted the gift card, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, debit card.
There you go. There you
go. So, what station made you a winner?
WNOV 106.5 FM.
Hey,
appreciate that part. But we got a question for him now, Keith.
Oh, what you think?
What? Yeah.
What are you thankful for?
Life.
That was a short answer, but I thought we could get a little more.
You know what, man? You sound like the kids at Children's Church. Hey, what you thankful for? Life. No, this bit's over. What you thankful for? God? No, we're gonna be a little bit more Pacific. All right, Pacific. And then
I'm just happy to be here.
Hey man, you know what? And sometimes just being alive, that's a whole lot to be thankful for.
That's true.
Man.
Any family, man? What you gonna do with this card, man? It's $100.
Well, I'm going to the store and pick up a few things. I gotta go by the in-laws' house, so I'm take something.
You call them? You still call them in-laws?
Outlaws, in-laws.
Yeah, I call them outlaws. Yeah, I'm gonna go by the outlaws' house.
There's a movie out there called Outlaws, talking about in-laws, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, enjoy, man. Y'all do turkey?
Yes.
You bake it, you fry it, smoke it.
I smoke it on the grill.
There you go. That smoked turkey. There you go again.
Yeah, I was just looking at what the temperature is going to be on Thursday because I was thinking about doing beer can chicken on the grill, capons. So I'll see what the weather. I might get out there in the cold and do it. We'll see.
I got to do my ribs. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do them.
Okay.
I got,
Hey man, well, enjoy your holiday, man. Enjoy the debit card, and man, thank you for listening.
Okay, enjoy y'all day.
All right.
So you can stop by the station Monday through Friday. The cards are available as we speak. So the sooner the better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because if you let it set too long,
it gonna be gone.
I might find
set too long. It could be gone.
Carvey might.
If it don't
find
fit,
a need for it.
You must have quit. Caller, one to the program.
You got another caller?
Yeah, man, they blowing it up.
They must don't know. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
Caller, one to the program.
Hey, Keith, that was real quick. How you doing?
I'm good, EJ, but you're going to have to call me back, man, because we can't get it done in a minute and a half.
This is Johnny. You know that, right?
Yeah, that just called you EJ.
Oh, EJ. Oh, man.
That's Eastside John.
That's good. I never heard that one before.
Yeah, man, so you're going to have to call me back.
From a black dude, that's got to be
because I always want to give you enough time to be able to expound on what it is. All right?
Do you want me to call back after 10, or you got a guess?
I got guests at 10. So we'll see. But anyway, I know where because I just want you to have the time to be able to share what it is that you want to share.
This is a real short one if you got a minute or two. Check out this guy, Jews for Judaism.
I know who he is. I know the movement.
Okay, and then another one, Tanakh Talk, like, Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim, the Torah, Nevi'im is the prophet, and Ketuvim is the books. And then another one, Singer, this guy, Tobias Singer.
All right.
And it's just like the Singer sewing machine.
Okay.
And he's really challenging. He makes it out that Paul changed everything.
John. You're still going there, man. He asked you to call back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
just call back. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, fella.
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate it.
You want to do this one real quick? All right, caller one to the program.
Caller 10.
Caller
what?
You probably are calling 10, but we were looking for 8.
Oh, 8.
Yeah. So
you are calling number 10.
All right. Have a great one.
Did you get the caller 8?
Yeah, we did. We just hung up from him right before John.
Okay, I was sorry.
Keep listening. It's
okay.
Certainly a chance for you to be calling.
On the,
she can register online. Did you go to our website and register?
I don't know. Where do I go online?
It is www.wnov860.com.
Okay. Excellent.
Anyone can, and you can do it as many times as you would like. Certainly go there, register, do it every day, make it a part of your ritual, and certainly all it's going to do is increase your chances of winning. Okay.
Okay. Thank you kindly.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Last one.
You got a nothing?
Yeah. Caller one to the program. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Keith. How you doing? How you doing, Debo?
I'm
How you
good.
doing, Carvey?
Great.
Morning, man. Hey, Keith, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Debo, he kind of sparked this on my mind yesterday by mentioning Tyrone Davis. But when the Turning Point was open way back in the day, did you ever go to party?
When it was still a Turning Point, I was about 18, 19.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and then who took over? My guy bought it. What's his name? Oh God, I can't think of the guy's name. But yeah, I used to go through there. The interesting piece was
What did it become? Club Sensation or something like that, wasn't it?
yeah, but before it was Club Sensation, it was something else. Okay, Reynolds.
Oh, you talking about Dave?
Yeah,
Dave Reynolds.
He took over. He bought it, right?
Okay.
And so that's when I kind of started going because I know his brother EC.
Right.
And that's when I started kind of going
Donald?
there. I didn't know Donald. Yeah. But the interesting, I was in Atlanta, stayed at the same hotel as Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm talking to talking to Maurice White's little brother, Fred White.
Okay.
And he said, "Where you from, man?" I said, "Milwaukee." He said, "Oh man, I'd be up at the Turning Point every other weekend." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I did go. At one time they used to do male strippers.
I was gonna say anything.
Yeah, they did male strippers.
You know,
right up the street from Sandow. How about that?
I think people was a little too young for this there. But the Turning Point used to bring some of the top artists to the Turning Point, right there on Fond du Lac Avenue.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went. It was a beautiful club. It was a nightclub setting.
Nice size.
I had a lot of fun up in there.
Yeah, I did go, and like I said, it was big in the dad. No, when I was a kid, it was really big. But then when Freddie White said that he used to come up here and play, just shows you just how big that was. Did Tyrone Davis do live entertainment?
Yeah, he was there. That dude was there.
No, at his place. He had a bar over on North Avenue.
I don't recall him doing live entertainment, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Appreciate you.
But I just called to ask you a question, man.
All right, man. Thank you for that, man.
Okay, later.
Yeah. I tell you another place, man. Mr. Max.
Jimmy Mack.
Yeah, main event.
Yeah, the main event with Jimmy Mack.
Jimmy Mack, yes, sir. Yes,
Home of the hospitality.
Oh man, I mean, we had so many work parties up in that place. From
Mattie Bell Woods was a regular in there.
Yeah. My mother said something about Mattie Bell Woods. My mama said she was old when I was young.
She was old when I met her.
But she be getting places.
Yeah, she was everywhere, man.
Because she lived to be about 100,
She was 100 plus when she passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was 100 plus.
Yeah, I mean, you could go back and look at some of the old.
And she still wrote her article. She used to do her article in the paper.
Yep.
Nightlight or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And she would be there. I mean, there were groups who were coming out because everybody would start their own little party groups. Mm-hmm. And what was the one group that used to throw the parties down at the Hyatt? Friends. And I think that was Mike Bird and some other folks. But then they took over the Baron. You remember the Baron? No, you were little.
No, sir.
You don't know nothing about the Baron. Yeah. 2 spots when I was in college, when you came home, the Rapport, which is now, I think, the City Church.
What do you mean I was young? I'm still young. You said it in the past tense.
No, I mean, when I was just, like really partying and kicking it. And,
you guys are a lot
But the Rapport, that's where Magic Johnson, when he would come, he would DJ there. Marcus Johnson, that was his spot.
We got to say happy birthday to one of our coworkers and one of the staff.
And that's as we get finished talking about bars. Happy birthday, Sharon Jordan, the gospel angel.
The gospel angel, yeah. But we may as well. We have to. Throw her sister in since she's got a twin.
She has a twin.
Sharon and Karen.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Keith, let me see if I can find a nice little jazz piece we can transition you out so we can get your guest in.
All right, you're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be inside the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce moment. We'll be right back. You want to be your theme music? We don't have a theme music for you all yet.
Some smooth jazz.
Yeah, y'all smooth.
I do have a theme song, but
okay,
they only play it at certain events. You know, when El Boogie's our DJ, and he knows what my theme song is.
Oh God!
Yeah, sure.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's a Avant song. It's an Avant song. I'll think of it in a second, but I'll share it with you.
We're inside the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce moment.
Yes, the chamber
Good
moment.
morning.
Mr. Reuben Hopkins.
Hey.
It's Xavier Fox.
Yep, that's me.
That's you. Y'all look good this morning.
Hey, working hard, man. Trying to get ready for Black Friday.
Oh my God!
What we mad about now? Oh, Black Friday. I thought we was gonna be like, did you grow up in Milwaukee?
I was raised. No, I can't really explain it.
Okay.
So we moved here when I was 5 years old. I left Milwaukee 3 weeks after I graduated from high school, and then I really grew up in the military, 14 years, and then I lived in San Antonio for 3 years. Then I moved back here a year after the Million Man March, and I've been back ever since. 96. Well,
you moved here in 96.
The march was in 95. I moved
October,
back here in
right.
96. Yeah.
Yeah. So in 1968, 67, we had Black Christmas.
Okay.
I wish. I wish.
It wasn't what you thought. Black Christmas was we didn't celebrate Christmas. And so literally, if you had gifts in your car, I'm trying to think of the name of this group. I don't know if it was the Deacons, but whoever these brothers were, they break in your car. If you had Christmas lights up, they throw a brick through your window. We weren't supposed to celebrate Christmas.
Okay.
And so it became Black Christmas, which was okay in my family because we had no money for Christmas gifts that year anyway. So it was just
Who
like
said you weren't supposed to?
these brothers.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it came off, we just had riots in 67.
I was only 2, so I ain't know that.
Yeah, we just had riots in 67. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You and my sister same age. Yeah. All right. Well, it's third Thursday.
Yes, it is. And, tonight is the final pitch before the finale. So everybody who's been putting it off all year to come out and make their pitch for their business, tonight is the night. I don't want to hear about the snow. If this is not your first visit to Milwaukee, you know it's going to snow every year. So you should have everything you need. Oh, you said it's going to rain? Already rains throughout the year. So you got everything you need. Come on out. We're at Rain at 231 East Buffalo from 5 to 9 p.m. Come and get your pitch on so you can get in that number that might win that $10,000. $10,000.
American.
Or 7,000.
Or 3.
Or 3.
Yeah. First, second, third place. We try and spread it around.
And it's really some real good pitches.
Oh, yeah. The pitches are good. So during the monthly pitch, they get 1 minute. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a spur of the moment. Some people have brought props this year, though. They knew they were going to pitch, so they were prepared to make it happen. So that was really cool to see. But at the finale, they get 2 minutes, and they can use a PowerPoint, so they really get to kind of talk about it a little bit. So, it's exciting. I'm a little attached to the pitch competition at this point. And so tonight will be a little emotional to see that last winner. And then we get ready for the finale. When we award that money, it's always a really good thing. So come on out to the finale next year, ticket next year in December. Tickets go on sale on the 22nd for the finale. We'll be at the Deco, the Black and Diverse Gala. Make sure you go to our website. But anyway, I know y'all like to talk about a little bit of life while we're in here, events. So I don't want to stick on events because that's me.
I'll be running late. I got a couple of events before that, but I try not to miss them. Rent a spoon.
Rent a spoon. You've been talking about Rent a Spoon.
I've been talking because when y'all first pitched the idea, and I'm listening to you doing it over the air, and the first thing I thought of was like, what are these business ideas? One of the ones, though, that was real interesting, I thought, was the barbershop car wash.
I had an idea like that, too. Once.
Yeah, this brother, that was last year. And I was going, well, it's interesting. Now, the way we cut hair,
it would have to be a detail shop so that it could be, a longer. Yeah. So while you getting your car done, you get your hair done. That would be really great in Chicago if they don't already have it, because Chicago is big. The guys going to get that haircut and they going to have their car clean. So when they hit the weekend, they crispy, ready to go. But I think that's a great idea. And then if you throw some food in there too.
Yeah. Just how do you, you figure all that out. When I don't like amusement parks. So when I go to the amusement park, if I go, what I watch is how they move people, right? Mm-hmm. There's a computer there and they're counting. They can tell you how long you're going to be in that line, what that queue is going to be. And I used to, right before I retired from the county, my job was front door. So we had to make sure there was no queue. And so I'm always amazed at how you move people. So the question would be, for that, how do you make sure, as you just said, do you do detailing, which would be, and then the people who are doing your hair have to make sure, that. So I thought it was a great concept. Logistically, you probably have some things you'd have to work on.
Wait a minute. You said no queue? No people in the queue?
Right. No, you move the queue. You're going to have people in the queue. You don't want long delays in the queue.
What city service was you working for? I have never not been on hold for 45 minutes, hour and a half.
I did have the call center.
Terrible, man. Customer service is just
ridiculous.
I was on hold for Walmart so long one time that I drove to Walmart.
I did that before.
And got there and I saw the light blinking with me still on my phone. Right. And I was like, you can hang that up because I'm here now. Because that's how bad customer service has gotten.
I called MATC. MATC had me on hold. But at the same time, I'm monitoring the call, right? I got a big computer and I'm just monitoring. And I'm sitting up here watching people not work as I'm waiting on the line at MATC, and then I'm watching them. So I literally get up and walk downstairs and go, is anybody working? Because that's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job. I agree with you. I mean, I'm a stickler for customer service. You don't want to, there's a lot of practical reasons why you don't want the queue long, right? That you want people to move people in, move them as quickly as you can. What is the line that John Wooden used to say? He said, what did he say? Be in a hurry, but don't rush. I have to look up that quote. And what he's saying is that you're moving with all deliberate speed, but you're still moving with a certain level of speed.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't. We were just talking about this McDonald's up here.
Yeah.
And just how much better it's gotten in terms of their queue. Like when you go through the drive-through, you're in a queue. And so how quickly do you get folks in? How quickly and then move them? It's called fast food for a reason.
It should be fast.
It should be fast.
Culver's sucks on that side, but the food is better.
Because Culver's does more of they're cooking it fresh.
It's made to order.
Right. And so then that will take a little bit more time. But McDonald's, obviously, they've mastered this idea of how you move people and the efficiency. But I think even in our restaurants, a lot of times we complain about the service.
Speaking of service in our restaurants, at the Black and Diverse Gala, featuring the pitch finale, December 19th at the Deco, we are actually going to announce the restaurant of the year.
Good.
The commitment that we made to improving customer service in Black restaurants is a real commitment. And the challenge is, I think our restaurants have to understand that even improving customer service is not going to change the customers that you're going to get. And I think sometimes customers will wear you down, right? And I've said this at our boot camp that there's no harder place in America to grow a business than in a Black community. Anywhere. Any Black community anywhere, there's no tougher place because of all the different personalities they make up our community.
Oh my God.
Right? And so if you're going to be in business in our community, you just got to be ready for all the different mentalities that are going to come through the door. And if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready to serve those people, then you really don't understand why you're in business. And so that's why as we do our Black restaurant group, as we do all the things that we've done to work on improving customer service in Black restaurants, is we still have to remind restaurants that of what they're in business to do. Because even though, they get surveys and people get reviews and all of that stuff, they still sometimes just being consistent is a challenge for them.
And I think, and it was really across the board. I don't know if you told the story about Neiman Marcus.
No.
Someone told the story, and this was back in the early days, and a woman had brought a dress back. And early on in their business, and the woman obviously wore the dress, and she was trying to say it was, and the guy said, I'm not going to give you back the money, His mother said, no, give her the money. And he said, well, why? She said, because it cost us $250 to develop a customer. You only give him $150. She was saying that even though you were wrong, they were wrong in bringing the dress back, when you look at your customer base, what do you do as much as you can to please the customers? And I know that's hard for some people. If you got a problem, if you have a problem with difficult people, then, and look, it's hard because, your best customer service is with your worst customer, right? But that's hard because you're human too. And you only going to be so many blah, 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 blah.
Man, so I've been in customer service since I was 15. I started out in food service, on 27th in Wisconsin. I don't think my mom knew who the people that was over there back then. It was a big boys over there.
That's right. That's where you were.
Yeah.
And you said that.
That was my first job.
Okay.
And so it's a collective of people over there because
Bob's big boy.
of where it is, where it was. And so I definitely learned how to deal with lots of different personalities, from, you know, the dark side of 27th Street to the businesses that were around there, to the school teachers that were around there, the banks, you know, just all of the different things that were in that area. And I've been in food service and hospitality and events ever since then. I think I done dealt with all the personalities. But, you know, customer service is not because they're always right, but you always want to keep a professional response to everything. And like that person said, you know, give them the money back. Because for one, let's just get rid of them. You know, and in marketing, they told us that if a person has a positive experience, they're going to, you know, tell about 10 people. But if they have a negative experience, they're going to tell a whole bunch of folks.
Whole world. Yep.
Right. So even as Ruben said, you know, you can't change your clientele. Little bit by little bit, you can. So like even with me, I'm all over the place. And so I give away some of our Black Restaurant Group certificates because we used to get them, but I still have them. So for certain restaurants, I'll give them a certificate and tell them to go here, you know, to go to that certain place, you know, and so that'll change. And then those people will come in there and they'll say, hey, I had a great experience and that food was really good, you know, and then they'll bring some more people back there. So you can, over time, you know, change the clientele that come depending on your location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's important.
And, you know, when you start a business, that's the first thing you learn is location, location, location.
I think there's a great book that I would suggest to people called The 50s by David Haverstone. And he talks about in the 50s, a lot of things. McDonald's came to fruition in the 50s. He tells a story about the Holiday Inns and how this guy lived in Memphis. He was a developer. He wanted to take a cross-country trip to take his family to Washington, D.C., and he noticed how difficult it was for them to find a place to stay. So he said, you know what? If you can put a hotel near a freeway, location matters. And you heard people say location, location, location. Even products, right? If you go in the store, where that product is put is based on who's going to see it, right? And we see it, yeah. So location becomes important. I think, though, now talk about customer service. When I retired, I went to work for child support.
Oh my!
See, so you can only imagine. You can only imagine when I'm out.
Look, wait. I've never met anybody who worked for child support. But let me ask you this. And this is crazy. This is crazy. The mother of my children had to pay child support. Okay. And I had to pay child support for one of my daughters who lived with me.
Okay.
That's weird.
They would take the money out of my check and then turn around and send it to me. They did that for almost 2 years. And I couldn't understand why they taking the money from me and then mailing it to me separately. They take it out of my check, my payroll check. And then I would get a check in the mail from child support. Me, same name that they were taking it from.
For the exact amount?
For the exact amount.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Well, not looking at your case. A lot of times the kid could be living with you.
Mm-hmm.
The courts need to know, and I'm assuming the courts knew, that the kid was living with you. There's been a change of placement. If the change of placement has not happened, unless you do something, we're still assuming the child is with the mother or the custodial parent. We don't use mom and dad. We use custodial parent, non-custodial parent. In this case, you become. So a lot of times we have to change and make sure that the courts, because it's the courts who determine what you pay, who pays, right? So to know that, oh, in fact, this child is now, or child's going to be legally placed with you. I don't know if that's the case. But that's what happened. And then once they figure out what is happening, well, obviously we're going to stop the order. They'll stop the order that you owe because the child is with you. And you basically get the money back.
Part.
But we have situations where people live together and he's basically still paying child support to her. And he wouldn't because he's in the home, but they never went to court to have it changed.
Mm.
And they keep saying, well, I told child support. Child support can't do anything.
Oh, you
It's
gotta
the
have a court
court.
order too.
All
Okay.
child support does is enforce the orders of the court, right?
Okay.
And so unless you get something that says that it should be changed, by law, it has to stay in place. So I don't know if that's the case, but usually, because there's a lot of dudes, they really do have the kids all the time, but they never went down to say, okay, the placement is now with me.
I can attest that he definitely had his kids all the time,
right,
at the meetings and
no, and they do. I mean, and then it's a little bit interesting because if you're going to apply for public assistance, you don't necessarily have to have that placement. You just prove that the child is with you. It's a little bit different, but So I think a lot of times, and this is getting back to when I first started this, there was it still is, a lot of hostility towards child support because child support is the enforcement agency.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue really is with the courts, right? And being able to go in and understand that you want to get a change of placement. You know, I've heard women call complaining about having to pay child support. They sound just like the brothers I'm dealing with, right? And I'm trying to understand why there's a level of hostility. I think because after IRS, child support has incredible enforcement powers to be able to go in and enforce that order, everything from, intercepting your income tax returns, suspending your driver's license. Well, all those things are just enforcement tools to get people to pay because we say pay something.
I've never had anybody on child support and I've never paid child support, but I dated a guy that got child support and it was the court order because him and his ex-wife had a situation worked out that they were fine with. Right. She wasn't complaining. But when they went to court on that final thing for the final divorce decree thing, the judge said, no, we're going to put you on child support. And then I don't know what the process is that they go through, but it took like a couple months. And then when they went after his check the first time, they took everything that he was behind for at that time. And I was like, I was kind of like the housewife thing, but the house girlfriend. I wasn't a housewife yet. But so I paid the bills because he was a truck driver on the road all the time. And when his check came through, I was like, I don't think we can do anything with this. What happened to the money? And so now I refuse to date a guy on child support because you never know what they're going to do.
Right. And it's okay. You heard it here.
If that child support for kids under 18.
No, and it really, and I'm thinking the judge was probably saying, well, you still need to, because if you have an agreement, here's what I'm going to apply each month. This is what I'm going to pay each month. And it's codified. You got the agreement. Now, Wisconsin, once there's a child support order, is a mandatory income withholding state. Now, I would argue to men and women it's a benefit because a lot of people got a lot of debt because it was up to them to go pay child support. And for some of these folks, they may or may not get down there to pay child support. They got an issue with her. So then what happens with him or her is now you accumulate all this debt. And what else then happens? Begins to impact your credit rating, right?
Your credit, your driver's license, you can't get a passport. I mean,
but that means you haven't paid.
That's just no fun.
Right. You have, and when you're looking at that, because the threshold is $2,500.
This has been the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce Child Support Minute.
So the point I was getting ready to make as I began to tell the story was that when I first went out, dude, the hostility level that I received was just like, I didn't have a name.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
This dude, probably young.
Yeah, this dude for child support. I'm like, my mom named me Keith. And dudes would get, but part of that was once I began to realize the level of hostility, then you can kind of get, so then the other piece of it is I couldn't be judgmental. Right. And so that in terms of customer service, and even when I work public assistance, you see people at the worst that they could be financially in their lives. The last thing they need is us piling on, being judgmental about how you got in the situation in the first place.
That's true. But, accountability runs scarce in a lot of people. They just don't understand how they get themselves in the situations.
That's right.
And then they blame it on everybody else. But yes, so...
But customer service becomes reported. Let me give you one other shout out.
Okay.
Great example. Go to the Lamb of God Baptist Church. These folks greet you on the parking lot. They make you feel so welcome when you get to that church. And every time I see Pastor Boston, I said, man, I'm impressed with that. Because for a lot of people, it's how you make them feel.
Yep. That's what people remember, how you make them feel.
How you make them feel. I mean, if you come in and you're dressed a certain way, I heard this guy saying, we just leave them alone to death. You know, just
leave them alone to death.
Leave them alone to death, you know, because they're not looking like everybody else. And I think that, and maybe I've gotten to a point in my evolution that I'm more mindful of people's humanity.
Mm-hmm.
There's another human being sitting there. I'm serving another human being. And I like to say this. Food is a love language.
I'd like to say this, because we were speaking of child support and kids. We have a toy drive coming up. Black Friday weekend.
Excellent way to
bring a toy to the toy drive. Help the people out who have child support issues and can't buy a toy. Bring a toy to the toy drive. Holidays is coming up, you know.
So talk about that, you guys.
So we have Access Capital workshops that are going to be going on next weekend. It's $10 for the workshop, or you can bring a toy, right? So if you want to come to the workshop, you can sign up for the workshop. And when you sign up, it gives you the option to pay the $10 or bring a toy. If you're going to bring a toy, we're going to have toy boxes set up throughout the venue for us to put the toys in. Then we're going to gather the toys for 3 days, all 3 days. And then we're going to present the toys to the National Association of Black Journalists, who is going to present it to 3 Black charities. Okay. And so, bring a toy.
And you do not have to attend the Access to Capital workshop to bring a toy. We will accept all the toys. If you just have a big heart and want to add to a child's holiday cheer, bring a toy. Bring a nice toy. Throw a PS4 in there or something. Whatever those are.
Wow.
I don't know.
That toy is going to get out to anybody. I don't know about that one.
Don't bring a PS4.
I thought it was for the kids. I'm good. What was your favorite? Did you have a favorite toy that you might have got for Christmas or when you was a kid?
Okay, I'm going to tell a horrible story. I was an only child, and both of my parents worked. And my Christmas looked like a department store. It was so much stuff. I can't remember anything that was like a favorite toy because it was so many toys. And so my birthday and Christmas, it was so many toys. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be my bike because I still like bike riding. But when I got my bike, my first 10-speed.
What about you, man?
I had to be 5 or 6 years old. I'd never been holidays have never been a thing for me. Birthdays have never been a thing for me. I just was all like, what is all the hype? I wasn't Mr. Scrooge, but I just wasn't involved. Don't involve me, you know.
Mr. Scrooge.
Strange one.
So there is a picture of me, and I think it had to be maybe 6 or 7 years old, where I'm holding this fire truck.
Okay.
And standing in front of the Christmas tree. And I was forced to do it because, I was just an uncooperative child. I was always the conscientious objector, no matter what it was. Some reason, I didn't know what that meant until later on in life.
You went to the military. That is a real status, y'all.
Yeah, it is. But I wasn't a conscientious objector in that standpoint because I joined the military.
Mm-hmm.
I did 14 years. Mm-hmm. So but even while I was in, so that fire truck probably is the only memory of toys that I would remember that I would like be my favorite. And again, I think the picture was taken against my will. So
it looked like a hostage.
No, I'm standing there,
That's the only reason he remembered the fire truck, because it's in a picture with him.
It's in a picture, and I'm dressed like the man from Glad. I had on all white.
Oh
and,
my goodness!
I had a red fire truck with this long ladder on the back, and that's it. That's only picture I can find in all. And I have 12 sisters, right? So 12 sisters, my brother, all the family of all the pictures, that's the only picture they have of me for like during the holidays, because I really was never really into it.
My favorite was back in the day, Love James Bond. I was a little guy, loved James Bond. And my mother bought me he used to drive Aston Martin, and she bought that car.
Okay.
But we was poor.
So with no wheels on it or something?
It had wheels, but it was battery operated. I never got the batteries.
That sucks.
But that was nice, man. I played with that one. That one I didn't break, because I broke a whole lot of toys.
I did have some Hot Wheels that I did have some Hot Wheels back.
Did you get a whipping with the Hot Wheel track?
Yep.
See, look at the first thing people go. They don't even know you use it for the cars. People never knew you used it for the cars, right? It was just like it was another weapon that your parents could use. Yeah, those Hot Wheel tracks, those orange Hot Wheel tracks.
Well, I never had a Hot Wheel, so we never had that in my house. So I didn't. But I was just wondering.
Not by my parents, but my sisters.
Oh, your sisters. You probably needed that one worse than
with
even
my
your parents.
Hot Wheel track.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I got with my own Hot Wheel track, because I got Hot Wheels used to be just a straight shot.
Yep.
And then they came out with the loops and all that stuff. And I was, when you have 12 sisters, I used to fight a different sister every day. Except my two twin sisters, I had to fight them on the same day.
Okay.
But I used to,
He still does that with his employees.
I fight with a different one every day. So I used to mess with their stuff. And my sister came and she pulled my track apart, took her little stuff, whatever I had taken of hers. She smacked me a couple of times with that Hot Wheel track and went on about her business.
Yeah, there's some things in black homes that people didn't even know what the original use for. Like, we didn't know extension cords were used to plug stuff up. We didn't know the rulers were used to measure. No, it was just like, and I had teachers, man, they had that one thick ruler. Whew, Bradley Carr used to wear me out with that ruler, man. I'd go home and check my birth certificate to see if that Negro was my daddy. I knew what the teacher's lounge looked like. That's where, wow.
And we say all of this to remind you to bring
a toy.
Bring a toy. Not hot tracks.
And if the toy, as I now revisited some childhood trauma, if the toy requires batteries, please provide the batteries.
Just buy a pack of batteries.
Buy a pack of batteries, man.
Matter of fact, that could be go in the toy bin too if you just want to bring a pack of batteries.
Tape it to the toy.
Tape it to the toy. Yep.
Tape it to the toy.
That'd be a good thing.
It never dawned on me that, man, this is a battery operated car.
But some of the plain stuff that I used to like was I used to play jacks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play jacks.
Did you have an easy bake?
Maybe. I don't know.
You know how many burns from that light
Easy
bulb?
Bake, was that out when I was a kid?
100-watt light bulb.
My oldest daughter had the Easy Bake and the Mrs. Fields cookie thing. I don't know if
my sister had an Easy Bake.
Did she? Well, and I might have probably had one then. That might not have been definitely not my favorite.
You know how to cook?
I love to cook now.
Okay.
But probably back then, I was more athletic and physical, so stuff that I could do stuff.
Didn't you say you were a tomboy?
I was, and to some degree probably still am. Yep.
We're inside the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce moment. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $37.50 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
We're joined by Ruben, Xavier. So again, we had the pitch contest tonight at Rain. We have the event next Friday.
Yes, Black Friday weekend.
So our goal is to transform Black Friday from just a day that people run out and spend money mindlessly. So we're doing a Black Friday weekend. Many of the businesses and vendors that we've been working with over the last couple of years, we want people to come out and spend money with them. So we're doing a 3-day event. And so the vendors will be there. They'll be available. And it's going to be entertaining. We have...
on Friday, we have the Powerhouse Business Expo with our Powerhouse Business panel. G's from G's Clippers, Quabanon Nixon, Jim Addison, and
Running Rebels.
Victor Barnett from Running Rebels is our Powerhouse panel. So they're going to share their story of, their vision to reality. I'm looking forward to hearing that. And if any of you new entrepreneurs, have questions for people who have been in that struggle, because it can be a struggle, but let's say on that journey, if you're on that journey, it's one thing to get information from organizations that offer help, but it's another thing to get information from people who have really been on that journey that you're on. And then Saturday, we have our Music Fest. Tobias is going to be out there blowing that sax, and we have Deshae, AG, Kamanzi, V-Funk, Just Becca, Elisa, Nicole, and Shay. And don't let me forget the after party. So Friday night, the after party is Christopher's Project, and they're going to be doing a tribute to Quincy Jones and Frankie Beverly. And Saturday night, we have Poetry Unplugged with Quabanon Nixon. And then Sunday, I know a lot of y'all already know about Sunday because it's a big show. It's actually 2 fashion shows, okay? We're having 2 fashion shows. So the stylists and the designers. So the stylists can give you some style. Okay. And the designers can help you create your own style. They give you that, they got the stuff that you want to wear. It's a big show. We got 69 models in this show with 107 looks. Okay. So come on out and get you some swag.
What time is that?
The first show, the stylist show, starts at 2. It's going to go a lot, you hear that big number of people, but, they just walk in. So it's going to go pretty quick. If you think even just a minute a piece, it's still less. Anyway, the stylist show starts at 2 and the designer show starts at 3. Doors open at 12. We're going to have a great time. DJ L Boogie will be there helping us set the mood on Sunday.
WNOV?
WNOV, nope, not Sunday. Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday, WNOV will be in the place. We're going to have a really good time. And all the vendors, we'll have about 40 vendors. We'll have food vendors, just a lot of stuff going on. Come out and meet some of the media personalities from TV. I think, am I allowed to say names?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know these days.
I have to check with Princess on that. We'll get back to you. Just come on out. They'll be there, so you just come on out.
Somebody
and
was
meet
on
them.
last week doing they had their flyer.
Uh-huh.
So, and then I learned, just shut up, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm helping her out. I'm
Uh-huh.
reading the flyer. Oh,
Right.
you don't have how to do. She said, no. We got a new list now.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, but on the flyer, you had all these people listed.
And
so.
that happens because our early flyers went out, and some of the people on our early flyers are not going to be at the shows. But once the flyers go out, you can't call them back when they go out digitally.
Yep.
And sometimes even these flyers that we print, there's still some places where somebody has dropped them off and they're still there. They may have old information. So the best thing to do is to go to our website, the Chamber's website, twbcc.com, and get the most current update as to what is going on. Because the Access to Capital workshops are only going to be Friday and Saturday. We're not doing any on Sunday. Each of those workshops is 2 hours. And again, we're going to be covering stuff like personal credit, business credit, and accounting and finance and accounting in your business. So it's going to be it's Black Friday weekend. We're making sure that we cover as many bases as we can. we're dealing with a lot of our members because we have members in the music industry, we have members in the fashion industry, we have members in the restaurant industry, we have members in the real estate industry. So a lot of our events are unique events because of all the different industries that we touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a marketing chamber, we do a lot of stuff related to marketing, which is why we do a lot radio ads, which is why we're in 2025 we have an entire plan for increasing the ads that we put in the black newspapers. We because it's after, if y'all don't know, after this last election that we on our own, right? That we have to start doing things that grow our businesses, right? And you can't grow our businesses if we're not advertising, marketing, public relations, promotions, sales, all of this stuff together combined, makes up the quality of business that that someone is running. So if all you're doing is out here thinking that I put something on Facebook and that's enough, or I put something on Instagram and that's enough, you're mistaken, And so we're trying to get businesses to make sure that they understand how to really be in business. And so Black Friday weekend is it's a Black and Diverse Expo. So our friends from the Chinese Chamber will be there because they've been on from day one. Chinese Chamber and us have been side by side. The folks from Wibbick has done a great job with some of the products and some of the services that they offer over at Wibbick, and so they should be in the house. Our friends over at Chase Bank, our friends over at BMO Harris Bank, all of those folks, our friends from Explorers TV. We're going to be. Everybody. We invited everybody. Come on out and see what energy exists in our community, because we, like I said, we're on our own. I still have to suspend the conversations that I've had since the election. Require that you suspend disbelief that a country would vote against its own interests in the way we just did. And like when you look at that, sometimes you just kind of shake your head and say, what do we do next? If something like this can happen, when it's so obvious to the world that this guy should not have been elected, this guy should not be our president, but because of these foolish systems that we have in place, this foolish American exceptionalism, as whatever it is they call it, it doesn't match up with what this country has in writing.
These are the viewpoints of Ruben Waddell.
Let me do this.
Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Let's do some breaking news. Jussie Smollett's conviction for a false hate crime claim is overturned. The Illinois Supreme Court ruled that he should not have been prosecuted a second time after the charges against him had been dismissed with a negotiated agreement.
But that's true, though, right? You can't be charged twice for the same crime.
They got him for double jeopardy. Yep.
That's true.
Well, good news for Jussie Smollett.
Ruben's like, that is not what he's talking about.
Good news for Jussie.
All right, make sure you guys come on out tonight, 231 East Buffalo. We're at Rain. It's the last pitch competition to qualify for the finale, 5 to 9 p.m. If you want to pitch, get there before 5:15, because Ken not going to let you in after 5:15. So make sure you're on time.
He's not going to let you sign up.
Oh, he's not going to let you sign up. Yeah, that's right. You can come in anytime.
Let me in. I done drove.
But you can't sign up for the pitch anytime.
Parking and he told me you can't get in.
So you can come in. Absolutely. Come on out and party with us. We're going to have a great time. Some good food in there. Great vendors. It's always a good time. After the pitch, there's always a party. Absolutely. DJ L Boogie is the official DJ of the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce.
Did you remember the theme song?
I think it's called "Do What You Do." Do what you want, do what you like, something like that.
We'll have it by the next
Avant?
Thursday.
Do what you. No, that's not. It's by Devon. That's something different. I'll get it from Boogie.
Yeah.
We'll start using that when you guys come in.
Oh Lord, I gotta come in on his theme song.
That's right.
Yeah.
My theme song is
because every superhero.
Butter Love by Next. See, I know my theme song.
Which was
Butter Love by Next.
Okay,
that's my theme song.
We'll remember that.
They be singing about me. See, that's my theme song.
Wrap it up, Keith.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for being part of the program. Ruben, thank you. Xavier, thank you. All right. Carvey, thank you. Debo, thank you. Michelle, thank you. Callers, we thank you. Good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.